Well, got those couple bags loaded up. Had a pretty good chat. Always have lots of chats with people. Yesterday, this was kind of interesting. So, this was the hopper that I had for my auger to feed my hammer mill. I like this one because it was a bit smaller, easier to cover, and there was less grain in it to be ruined or something if it got caught out in the rain. But it froze to the ground, and like an idiot, I walked by and kicked it, and I broke the bottom. But I have a black hopper like this that's all busted up and destroyed. So I cut some pieces of plastic, like off of it, and I superheated it up, and then I put it on here and covered up the hole. And actually, believe it or not, I think that's going to work. So I'm kind of excited about it. Like, you know, it doesn't, I don't even know what these hoppers are worth. They're not the end of the world, a few $100, but look at that. Kept one more out of the dump. So I'll be able to switch it back for that one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these big ones either, but it's hard to cover it, and it's hard to move it if it's full of grain, if you end up in that situation, because it holds like 500 pounds of grain, where these are just more efficient. I also got the all the totes stacked up over there, so that's a win. I put my sheep molasses tote up on the stand that I use that one to sell pails out of. So if you know, as you can imagine, somebody with 5 sheep or 10 sheep, they don't always want to buy a whole tote of molasses, so they can just come here and fill their pails out of one of those totes. What do we got to do here? We got to make a few bags, only 3 so far. So I think I'm going to try to get everything fired up and get after it. Well, good afternoon. Just finished up making the bags there. It's super windy outside. But Dad and Buddy, they were in the shop here, and they got this Holley carb out of our tandem and that Edelbrock carb in. So I don't know anything about carbs at all. A little bit of reading that I've done, and wasn't really enough to get me anywhere. So anyways, I messaged my buddy Jeremy up north. He's about an hour north of me, and he was like, oh, get this kind of carb. And today I was texting him a bunch of questions about it. And actually, he just started a YouTube channel like a month ago, so definitely check him out, Jeremy Cherney on YouTube. But this has 3 electrical wires that go to it, 2 on this side and 1 plugged over here, plugged in over there. The Edelbrock carb that we put on has no spot for electrical wires. So I had to message him, what do I do with that? What are they even for? Apparently it's a governor and then a stepping motor or something. There's quite a bit of stuff on this that isn't on that one. The one issue we ran into was trying to hook the fuel line up. The fuel line bolted or screwed right into where? I believe here. Oh, I don't know, somewhere on here. Here. But there's no spot for it to screw in there because the threads aren't the same. So there was a kit you could buy, and they said cut your fuel line, but we actually found a hose that fit over the fuel line and then hooked up into the carb, and then it's got that filter in line, and it doesn't leak. So we're gonna try that and give that a go, because that should give us an indication of if we're on the right track. This truck near the end of the year last year had it just had nothing in it. I mean, you almost couldn't even drive it empty. It just would putz around and was no good. So we were assuming that something in this carb failed, in this old carb, or the carb itself had failed, because initially when we put it on, you know, it kind of worked. I mean, it's being a gas truck, it doesn't have limitless power or like a lot of power like a diesel does anyways, But it had enough. I mean, you could put a load of grain on it and go to the neighbors or whatever, and it wasn't the end of the world. But by the time last fall ended, like I say, you almost couldn't drive it empty. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully it's just a bad carb, and I'm gonna take it out right now for a little bit of a joyride. See how it goes. Well, I made it back. Just logged about 10 clicks on the old tandem here, trying to see if we got a little more horsepower than we had before. And I think we did. One other thing that we encountered was the line that goes from the gas pedal to the carburetor was actually too short, and it had no more adjustment. So we cut it and we put another inch piece in there, so it would be long enough to actuate the fuel part of the carburetor, I guess, whatever you call all that nonsense. Like I say, I'm not a mechanic, and I mean, I don't mind learning. My only other experience with a carburetor before kind of this time was that actually that yellow International right there. I got the numbers off of it. It's got a Holley carb on it too, and ordered the kit and rebuilt it, and it smartened it right up. So I kind of thought that learning about carbs might be important, because not everything we have is diesel. Not everything we have is late model. So, and who knows, stuff you may acquire down the road may come with a carb. So anyways, Jeremy, if you're watching this, thank you for all your help today. I texted him like 5 or 6 times, and now I know a great deal more about Holley carbs, Edelbrock carbs, carbs with governors, carbs with whatever he called that thing was, carbs that need electrical wires running to them, and carbs that don't. Pretty exciting. You learn something new every day, and yeah, that's one of the big pluses of these YouTube videos, is people you meet, the help you can get from them, the help you can give them. So anyways, I think that's it for me. It's about 5 o'clock now. I'm gonna go ahead and have some supper, and maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna load this bad boy up tomorrow, put like 10, 12 tons of oats on her, and take it over to the neighbor. That'll be the real test. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.